This 380-acre sheep farm really is on the edge of Ireland. The instructions to get here are go to Louisburgh and Mayo and just keep going until the road runs out. That's where we are. What's extraordinary, given its remoteness, is that people from Russia, from America, from France, from Germany, from Spain, everywhere, all around the world in the last year, have been coming here to be brought back into the history of this farm and to understand it. And it really is the most successful example I've seen of farm diversification in what is a very, very isolated area.
Gerard Burke is the 6th generation of his family to farm this land. Until the middle of the 19th century, a sizable community lived here. But then, with famine and eviction, everything changed.
Gerard, back in 1841, how many people were living here and how many houses were there?
Oh, there were in 1841, there were 17 houses here in this valley.
17?
17 houses, yes. 89 people on the 1841 census.
And you call this village, it's always been called Ugal village.
Ogul means Uv Uller, the eagle's egg. It's probably a reflection of the fact that Muilray had always been a favoured nesting place for the golden eagle.
Yes. Yeah.
Right up till the 1900s, the early 1900s, yes.
The names tell the history.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
What happened to the 89 people who were living here?
They were, in 1851, they were all evicted to create a 50,000-acre sheep farm. My grandfather's father was actually 13 years old when he was evicted from this old house here.
This yellow roofed house here.
Yes.
And so this is a direct connection to the Burkes in your family?
Absolutely.
Yes.
His father, my great-great-grandfather, was Michael Burke, and he was living here during the time of the famine with his family.
The farm is known as the Lost Valley. For nearly 150 years, it was almost completely cut off from the outside world. But in recent years, Gerard has created pathways throughout the farm. In the past, there have been issues about public access, but today, this magnificent farm is open to paying visitors.
We better get going. We've got 3 hours of walking ahead of us.
Okay, guys, come along. We're going to start this adventure.
Gerard's walking tour passes through some of the most beautiful scenery in Ireland, with views of the Silver Strand and, of course, the breathtaking 16-kilometre long Killary Fjord. And all of this in the shadow of the majestic Muilray mountain. But thanks to Gerard's storytelling, this walk takes you back in time to one of the most tragic periods in Irish history, the Great Famine of the 1840s.
What's unique about those potato ridges here is that they're authentically datable to 1851, when all of the people who lived in this area were evicted. And you can see on those potato ridges that they're very deep. That indicates that they have never been dug out. So we can take it that the last time that there were potatoes sown in them, they rotted with the blight.
Would they have sown anything other than potatoes?
Well, yes, they would have had oats, and according to the 1838 O'Donovan survey, there was flax being grown here.
Gerard and his wife Maureen spent 7 years in England before returning to his family farm back in 1984.
Maureen, when did the idea for this walk come to both of you?
Oh God, I think it came, years ago. Like when he made the road in, like as you know, there was no road when I got married. It was a half road, he'd started it. And then we kept going, when he'd done that, we kept going, building roads around, because just for access. And then we seen it, people would say how beautiful it was. And you go away, I think it's because he went away for years and came back, that he could appreciate it.
It's extraordinary. I suppose when you live in such an isolated area, the choice is either to go find the people or bring the people here. And that's what you've done.
The next stop on the walk was the ruins of one of the houses.
We have a 2-roomed house. There was clearly a chimney. This is a very well-built house. Solid, mud in the walls to prevent the wind getting through. This house was vacated in 1851. So just 10 years before this house was vacated, there was a survey done on rural housing, and it was found that almost 70% of the people along the western seaboard and in County Mayo were living in mud huts, 1-roomed huts with a hole in the roof. So a 1-roomed mud hut with a hole in the roof is a long way behind the quality of living that's here. You may well wonder why that is, and indeed it's a very good question, but because we were so remote here, it looks as if the landlords didn't come this way. The people generally had a better standard of life because of that.
The Lost Valley walking tours have been running for just over a year, but they've already brought life back into this rural part of Mayo. The Burkes know that in the future, in this part of the west of Ireland, farming and tourism will have to go hand in hand to ensure that the land can continue to support families like theirs.
Is it becoming more important to you than the sheep farming?
Well, I can see a point where it will become on a par, because the sheep farming, you know, with all of the designations and restrictions, there's very little room to progress the sheep farming, you know.
So the game here is in many ways selling the views to people.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily, the future isn't necessarily animals.
Absolutely, that's true. But we will always have to have animals. All these horned sheep that you see here, they're not necessarily leaving an awful lot of money behind them, but we have to have them to keep the landscape in good condition. And without that, there's no scope there for tourism. If it becomes in such a state overgrown that you can't walk in it, or you can't enjoy it then. So one goes alongside the other, I think.